Um, the ICC actually sees cricket in Nepal as one of the countries that has an enormous potential, right? Um, Nepal cricket does well on the field. Of course, it has its hiccups, which is it has had recently, but by and large, it is headed in the right direction. You now have a good governance structure, and I think together we had a meeting with the minister. We also understand, and in fact, we heard very complimentary developments as to what governmental support can be in the near future, including the provision and development of grounds. Now, if you have the relevant grounds, then the chances of you hosting international cricket is going to be very high because you are a very attractive destination. I mean, historically, tourists come here. It's an attractive place. You play good cricket, you're competitive, you have good grounds, good facilities. ICC will work with you to bringing teams here and having international tournaments. If all this develops in the way it is presently going, we were just talking amongst ourselves that we actually see that Nepal cricket is going to go places, and if it does go places, there's no reason you could not be top of the associates, knocking on the doors towards being a full member of the ICC. The dialogue that we had with the minister was in respect of where Cricket Association of Nepal is at, what would be required in terms of governmental support. But even without us raising certain issues, the minister himself offered some very positive statements in terms of making a few grounds available to cricket in Nepal, and also that they would be putting in resources to develop certain grounds. Now that was very pleasing news to us because we do see Nepal as a venue for international cricket. So if this development takes place with governmental support, then, you know, as I said earlier, we would try and see whether we can host some tournaments. And generally, the minister had very indicated, made very positive statements to want to help cricket in Nepal. So from that viewpoint, it was a very constructive discussion that we had with the minister. Is of what we had done. There were various phases as to what we did. When there were these problems that we needn't go into what those problems were, but it was a structured approach that we adopted. For me, the most difficult period was getting the various factions to work together so that we could have an election, a democratic election, right? That meant drafting the constitution anew, right? So that, I'm just giving an example. And then there was membership criteria breaches that had taken place, so we had to sort that out. There were various aspects of litigation that had to be cleared, working with the Sports Council, partly with the government. After all that was clear, there was this issue of financial controls that were put in place. So we lifted, as a preliminary measure, because the development department felt quite strongly that Nepal was ready to come back to the family. So we lifted the suspension, but we still had a few safeguards to put into place on the financial aspects. So that's been cleared now. So actually your question is, if we didn't wait this extra 2 months, then nothing would have happened. We would have done everything now. But instead we let them in bit by bit by bit, and I think that benefited both of us, and it was easier to persuade the board that this was the best approach to take for Nepal.
पहिला मलाई लाग्छ 2015 भन्दा अघि पनि 2014 तिर पनि त्यस्तो खालको रिस्ट्रिक्सन गभर्नेन्सको पार्टमा, ट्रान्सपेरेन्सीको पार्टमा कहीँ न कहीँ नेपाल क्रिकेट सङ्घको गभर्निङ बडी या तत्कालीन कार्य समितिहरू चुकेको अवस्था मलाई आइसिसीलाई शङ्का लागेको होला, या त्यस्तो खालको पुष्टि भएको होला। त्यसकारण कन्ट्रोल अफ फन्डिङ पहिला थियो र अहिले आएर मलाई लाग्छ आइसिसीले, हामी नेपाल क्रिकेट सङ्घको अहिलेको कार्य समितिले आइसिसीको शर्तहरू पालना, हामीले कम्प्लाइनहरू पुरा गर्यौँ, आइसिसीहरूले राखेको जो मापदण्ड जुन चाहिँ एउटा एसोसिएट मेम्बरको मेम्बरसिप क्राइटेरिया गर्नुपर्ने हामीले मिनिमम हामीले चाहिँ एउटा मेम्बरसिपको लागि गर्नुपर्ने कार्यहरू यो कार्य समितिले गरेपछि मलाई लाग्छ आइसिसीले नेपाल क्रिकेट सङ्घमाथि विश्वास गरेको हो कि र त्यस कारणले अहिलेको कन्ट्रोल फन्डिङ चाहिँ जुन खुला भएको छ मलाई लाग्छ त्यसबाट भोलिको दिनमा नेपाली क्रिकेटलाई चाहिँ नयाँ किसिमले अगाडि बढाउन नयाँ कार्यक्रमसहित चाहिँ नेपाली क्रिकेटको विकासका लागि खाका कोर्नका लागि यो चाहिँ एउटा आइसिसीको निर्णयले एउटा चाहिँ नयाँ चाहिँ एउटा क्रिकेट सङ्घमा ऊर्जा आएको छ एउटा ऐतिहासिक पनि हो धेरै लामो समयपछि नेपाली क्रिकेट सङ्घ स्वतन्त्र रूपले नेपाली क्रिकेटलाई कसरी राम्रो गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने यहाँको गभर्निङ बडीले निर्णय गर्ने अवस्थामा पुगेको छ र यो सहयोग गर्ने यो अवस्थामा पुर्याउने खास गरेर अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय क्रिकेट परिषदको आदरणीय साथीहरू स्पेसली इमरान ख्वाजा जो चाहिँ भाइस चेयरम्यान पनि हुनुहुन्छ डेभलपमेन्ट हेड पनि हुनुहुन्छ र एक्स आइसिसीको एक्टिङ चेयरम्यान बसिसक्नु भएको छ उहाँले चाहिँ नेपालप्रति देखाउनु भएको जुन खालको एउटा सदासहायता छ सहयोग गर्नुभएको छ पटक पटक नेपाल आएर नेपाली क्रिकेटलाई चाहिँ राइट ट्र्याकमा ल्याउनका लागि सहयोग गर्नुभएको त्यसका लागि म उहाँलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु।